I've recently started David Higham Associates, which is a mid-sized London agency. I've been there for about 7 weeks, so I'm very new. But I've been an editor in a publishing house for about 7 years before that. So I have quite a unique perspective, I suppose, as an agent, because I've seen the business from both sides now. And I bring with me a lot of editorial skills as well, because I worked with mainly commercial fiction authors, acquiring, editing, publishing their books. So now I'm going to start doing it from the other side. So I'm looking for authors to represent and to work with them on their books and take them to publishers and get them book deals and get them the best possible deals they can get. So it's interesting seeing things from the other side, and it's exciting. Our agency has quite a lot of specialisms, so it covers most genres. We do have quite a lot of literary agents doing literary novels, and we have a real specialism in children's novels as well. So probably the biggest book as David Higham had this year is The Girl on the Train. Probably the biggest book in the last however many years. So we've got some really kind of big hitting clients as well. Where I come in, I'm going to be looking for really commercial fiction and some non-fiction as well, but with a real, my specialism and my passion has always been fiction, so that's what I'm looking for. Crime and thriller, a little bit historical, that kind of upmarket literary crossover, women's fiction. I have a real soft spot for YA and fantasy as well, when it kind of crosses over with commercial. And things that are a little bit, just do things a little bit differently. I think we're all looking for something that breaks the mould occasionally as well. I think this is a really good opportunity for authors, because pitching and talking about your book is something you will do always as an author, because from talking to agents, talking to publishers, then you'll be talking to your readers, doing interviews, talking to publicists and journalists. So getting used to and comfortable talking about your book and knowing the best way to pitch it. I would say the ones who everyone today has really impressed me already, but I think really nail the hook. What is it about your book that you can sum up almost in a line? What am I going to take away and go, oh, that's brilliant, I must read it. Really know your characters as well, and keep it kind of concise but really, really exciting, and don't feel you need to get bogged down with too many details. I think the worst thing you can do probably is tell the whole the whole synopsis of the novel. That's not what's going to attract a publisher or a reader. I mean, if you think about the back cover copy of a book, and my best piece of advice for any author is to spend a lot of time in bookshops, and look at the back cover copy and see very few of them actually tell you anything about the story or what you're going to read. They'll give you a kind of line or a few lines that will really draw you in, or even some of them are really infuriating and tell you nothing at all. Or they'll just put quotes on the back about how other readers responded to it and how it made you feel. So think about that. What is your reader going to take from it? What are they going to feel? What are they going to love about your book that's different to other people's? First of all, we're a really nice bunch. We are. I've been working, as an editor, I know a lot of the agents in the industry because they've been submitting their books to me for years. And they're all lovely. It's a mystique that we're scary. We're not. I think everyone who works in publishing is nice. But I think where the illusion that it's unapproachable and there's a wall is there's a lot of people sending their work in, and there's a lot of kind of hurdles to get through as an author. So to get your book even read by an agent is the first step. And then when you think about that, you've also then got to have an agent who wants to take you on, and then you've got to get through a publisher. So there are a lot of hurdles. I do understand how it feels fairly impenetrable from the outside. But I think it comes down to tailoring your pitch when you're pitching yourself, not just verbally, but also on the page when you've got to write. You've got to sell yourself in a one-page cover letter, a 2-page synopsis in the first 3 chapters of your book. So really spend time making sure those are as strong as they possibly can be, and they represent you and who you are. Get a bit of personality across, and make sure you're tailoring your submissions to the right agents. Don't just send it to Dear Sir / Madam, because it's going to end up at the bottom of the pile. It might be read by an intern or a reader. If you send it to a specific agent and you've shown that you've sent it to this agent because you know they like it, or you know their taste and you know that it's going to be to their, in their kind of area, they're more likely to read it, and they're more likely to appreciate the fact you've taken the time to look. I've only been doing it for 7 weeks, and I love it when someone says, I've looked on the David Higham website and I see you really love this kind of novel, so I think you'll love mine. And straight away I go, great, you've taken the time to look at that. I will always, it's really difficult because there are, you do get a lot of kind of blanket responses in a sort of very generic no, thank you. And do you know what, we're looking for, we're all on the lookout for brilliant, talented authors. I think you just have to find a way of making sure, you're putting the time in to get your pitch right and getting it in front of the right people, and then you should get responses. I certainly, it may take me a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, because there's a lot coming in. You have to be understanding about that. But if anything comes in addressed to me, I will always make sure I get back to that person, even if it's a one line saying, I'm really sorry, this isn't quite right for me. It'll come from me rather than the blanket no. So I think that's, if you send everything in as dear sir / madam and hope to get a response, you may not.